Welcome to Whom It May Concern, the podcast.
We're back once again. Thank you for joining us. I ask you to tune in and turn up. We are live on the set of To Whom It May Concern, the podcast. This is season 2 and our new space, our new home, a Nissa spot located in Durham, North Carolina. Listen, 2025, I'm trying to tell you, we are goal setting, we are reaching, we're getting to some business. This podcast, we're going to keep it real about everything after the age of 35, parenting, purpose, all things in between. Today's episode, I know many of you will relate, is about millennial parenting. I'm a Black father. I'm married to a Black woman. Our children are African-American, Afro-Caribbean to be exact. So, as a result, we're going to dive into the wins, the struggles, and the unique challenges that we face raising kids in this era. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, our household is none other than chaotic at best. Now, there's a certain harmony to it, I'll give you that. I love seeing all of my children in one space. As a matter of fact, it's probably it's more precious than silver and gold. I will say this, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of coordination, and a lot of balance just to make sure that we get from day to day. So I want to talk about that as a millennial dad, millennial parent. Things are different. My mom raised me a lot different than the way I'm raising my children. I'm okay with that, but I think we should unpack it a little bit further. So let's dive in. So if you're a parent or you're thinking about becoming one, this episode is for you. I didn't know in 2022 we were going to welcome a set of twins. I'd already had my first child in 2016. By that time, he was basically 14 years old, had been on his own. Bam, set of twins. Now we're a family of 3 kids. Bam, 2024, we welcome our final child. What is going on? This is a crazy time. I can't believe it myself. I had so many people asking me, are y'all okay? Because seriously, the twins were cool. You adding another one to your tribe? We did. You can't stop it. I'm a dad. This is what I do. I'm put on the earth to multiply. I love it, but I also did not know that it was going to come with the unique set of challenges that it does. And there's several. So again, as I mentioned, if you are considering having kids, let's get into it. There's a lot to unpack. But let's start with the wins. I'm being real here. Being a parent, especially Black millennial dad, millennial parent, it's an accomplishment within itself. But there are a few things, here are a few things that, I think we're doing right. And it's breaking generational cycles. Right now, we're more intentional about mental health, emotional availability, and even breaking toxic patterns. In my day, as we were coming up, these things weren't talked about. As a matter of fact, they kind of were swept under the rug. We didn't have the tools. We weren't aware. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now that we do have the tools and we've kind of identified, hey, it's no longer a stigma to talk about your health and well-being, where you are from a mental standpoint. We're going to pass that and impart that to our children. And we're going to lead by example. We're going to do as such. So again, breaking generational cycles, we're more intentional about mental health, emotional availability, and breaking toxic patterns. In addition, we incorporate culture. So whether it's teaching our kids about Black history, celebrating Juneteenth, or passing down family traditions, we as parents are ensuring our children know exactly where they come from. This is very important because we don't want our kids to have identity crisis or not have an understanding of their background. It's a rich tradition. All kids should know where they're going, but before they know where they're going, they have to know where they're coming from. We make sure to do that in our household, 100%. Lastly, I'm a firm believer in balancing discipline with empathy. As we move away from the spare the rod mentality, we're now embracing parenting that approaches a focus more on understanding and on growth. So for example, in my house, I make sure that our kids know their roots, but I also give them room to express themselves. So Brayden, my oldest, loves asking questions about our family history, and it's a reminder that our kids are hungry for connection as well as knowledge.
When was the last time that you were in Jamaica, and how important it is for you that you incorporate that background, as you're teaching your own kids, to learn about their background?
So, number one, that Jamaica trip was very important. We actually went in 2021. So that was the last time that we actually visited. I remember getting passports was a huge ordeal. I was committed to not only taking the family so that we can relax and, of course, just embrace everything that's in Jamaica because it's so wonderful, it's pretty, it's just gorgeous. But I knew that as a family, taking my oldest child at that time, it was his first time. I remember my first time being in that country, hearing the dialect. So at that time, Braden was 15. He was 15. So he was old enough to certainly appreciate everything that was within the island that was beneficial to him. Not just swimming in the beach, but connecting with a local store owner, buying merchandise, tasting the product. We had connected with a fisherman who would catch his fish in the morning and prepare it, cook it, and bring it to us for dinner. And that's something he has never experienced in the US. I say all that to say that while those things were the fun aspects, we also went to a school and we donated books. My sister-in-law was huge advocate on making sure that the country itself is going to stay rich in education. So we all packed bags full of books and made its way to a school in Westmoreland in Jamaica. And that was incredible because now I'm meeting individuals face to face. We are experiencing culture in like real time. So there was no take a picture and make it last. No, we're becoming the culture. We merged and meshed, and I'll never forget that opportunity. And I don't think my kids will either.
Do you have any recollections or anything that they share with you about the trip, like how impactful it was for them?
Yeah, I do recall, well, just from a mood standpoint, I remember everyone just being lighter, feeling freer, happier. But questions, about, of course, reggae and Bob Marley, food, and, where do these supplies come from? Tourism. These were all questions that we asked probably the entire trip. And I remember that being a staple with my son. We sat out of the Airbnb that we rented, overlooked the bay, had great conversations. It was amazing. I know that's a trip he won't soon forget. I want to do the same for all of my kids. Very important to us. Now let's talk about struggles, because parenting isn't all Instagram perfect. You can't fix everything via TikTok or Facebook. As a Black millennial parent, we are navigating challenges that are so unique, so different. Sometimes you just need an outlet. You need a different reference. So there's some systematic challenges. There are disparities in education and societal stereotypes. We're constantly advocating for our kids in spaces that weren't exactly built for them. Pinch me if I'm wrong. We're balancing work and family, and we're part of the hustle generation. Many of us are working multiple jobs, running businesses, trying to build generational wealth, all while raising our kids. So there's this immense pressure to be perfect. I implore you, please don't take that on. Social media often makes it feel like we have to have it all together, like we got to be the Brady Bunch. The reality is it's way more complicated. And if I'm being honest, there are days when I feel like I'm failing a little bit. I might miss a school event because of work, or when I'm a little too tired to give my kids the attention that they deserve. That's a struggle for me internally, but then I have to remind myself, showing up even imperfectly is still showing up. If I can impart a little bit of wisdom, Deion Sanders, someone I admire greatly, once said, you don't have to be perfect to be present. You don't have to be perfect to be present, meaning you just need to be present. That should be good enough. So finally, how can we thrive in this new environment, being a millennial parent? We're roped in, social media is giving you all types of different things that, says you need to be like this, or, you have a parent that's telling you need to be like that. It's not a one size fits all. But here are a few strategies that have worked for me. Hopefully they'll work for you. I encourage you to build a village, whether it's family, friends, or community groups. Have a support system that's essential. I have one of the best neighbors and also one of the best friends in the world. He happens to be running my podcast right now. Shout out to Gabe. Hey everyone, I just want to introduce you to a wonderful subscription product by the name of Scentbird. Fellas, ladies, if you are looking for something to keep yourself smelling terrific all season long, if you're anything like me, I love a good scent. So I subscribe to Scentbird. Essentially, you pay about $18 a month and they'll send you a fragrance of your own liking. Comes right in the mail. It's discreet, even gives you this own capsule. Pop. Hear that? And what you'll do, open that bad boy up. You can take this on a flight with you so that way you don't have to take your own big bottle of cologne and have it get tossed out by the TSA. No. They will send you your own unique capsule. Give it one good spray, and you're good to go. Scentbird, thank you very much. You're a lifesaver. I no longer have to buy huge quantities of my cologne. I can actually get 3 different scents and I can rotate them out, put them in my travel bag, and I'm good to go. Be an advocate for your kids. Be involved in their education and speak up for them. Teach them to advocate for themselves. There's many times when our oldest child, I felt like, man, I know he's not great in math, but until we really sat down with educators, his teachers, we all came on one accord, had to figure out what was the gap, where were his needs, as opposed to watching my child sit and fail and feel, quite honestly, like he wasn't good enough. We developed a plan, stood in the gap for our kid, and advocated on his behalf. You have to do that as any parent, but especially as a Black millennial parent. So again, I implore you, be involved as you can be in their education. Speak up for them. Teach them to advocate for themselves. Third, you gotta take care of yourself. My doctor tells me greatly, you gotta put your mask on first, Phillip. What does that mean? Oh, I can't be great to them unless I take care of myself. I gotta go for a walk. I have to hit the gym. I have to watch my sugar, my carb intake. Do the things that will keep me around a lot longer for them and for my family. Whatever that looks like for you. That might be a walk, that might be yoga, Pilates. It could be creating your own podcast. Whatever you have to do to pour into yourself, make sure you do that to the best of your ability. Our kids need us. Your wife, your spouse, they need you as well. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritize your mental, your physical, and your emotional well-being. I cannot stress that enough. Everyone in my household has either seen a therapist or is currently in therapy. And I've learned the hard way that self-care isn't selfish at all. Whether it's a morning workout, I might just pick up my youngest child, Langston, and just for emotional support and walk back and forth or step outside and enjoy and bask in the sunshine. I love to walk around Cary. This town is beautiful. Bike riding. Just make time for yourself so that you can show up better than ever for your kids, really and truthfully. So in closing, as Black millennial parents, we have a unique role to bridge the gap between the past and the future, all while giving our kids the tools that they need to thrive. It's not easy, it damn sure is worth it. If today's episode spoke to you in any way, please share it with another parent who needs to hear this message. And let's keep the conversation going. Reach out to me on all of my social handles or email me directly. Next episode, we'll have an opportunity to talk about something very near and dear to me, which is grief and the legacy, as I share a deeply personal story about losing my father, how that loss has shaped me as a parent and also as a man. But until next time, stay strong, stay present, stay grounded. I'm gonna ask you a question. So as far as like technology is concerned, and Luis is gonna have the coolest dad ever because you have all the gadgets. Are you going to has he taken an interest in production?
He is taking an interest. He's all the time. He's like, Papa, can I go to the office and show me all your? He calls them tools because when they're
They're tools.
Show me all the tools, and I sometimes like this is the camera, this is this and that, because I do want him to see if he's interested, and sometimes I'm like, no, it's not time for play, because he wants to grab them, and so sometimes I don't have the time. But yes, I've I put the camera in his hands and I tell him like this is that, and
Yeah.
as he gets older, for sure, I'm gonna get him involved more.
That's got to be the greatest gift. Like, you want your kids to be a reflection of you somehow, some way. I like this episode of millennial parenting. That actually is going to be something I'm expounding upon further, because you might want to rope in some experts, because people do things differently. Like, I don't like the soft approach, but because of where we are, you can't just be like, hey, I told you get off the couch. Let me get this belt and pow. Like, kids don't even respond to that anymore. So it's like, I'm still learning how to talk more, be a little more sensitive.
It's a balance, man, because sometimes I can sometimes I can intellectually have a conversation with my 4-year-old and he understands what I'm asking him to do or not to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes he only understands the spanking in the booty.
Yeah.
You know?
But
I don't want to always come with the spanking the booty is the first thing that we do. I do want to see if we can have a conversation, but and it's also having to understand the age, and the development of his little brain and where he's at. Because sometimes we want to speak to him like he's an adult and he can rationalize what we're asking him to do.
Yeah.
He's 4. Sometimes it's like, no, don't do that, or there's going to be a spanking in the booty.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we can have a conversation, and just finding that balance is what's challenging.
I agree. Yeah, the older these twins get, I find that they need it as a parameter to, dang, if I do put that Ashton, oh my gosh.
And then I only have one kid, but you have a few kids, and you're gonna learn, if just by hearing from experiences of other friends, is that every kid is gonna be different, and some kids learn more by having conversation. Some kids learn like you have to have certain boundaries and enforce, the boundaries. But ultimately, what you want them to grow as a functional adult and be successful. And
That's it.
And be happy.
But there's a correlation, right? Because, like, you can't not show up to work or show up late. Boss wants a report. Like, I think all of those things go hand in hand. So if you give your kid too long of a leash now, right? I think down the line somewhere, they incorporate that as a part of their their makeup. And so I guess what I'm trying to do is, like, I want to build a certain level of discipline and understanding that, like,
and at the end of the day, they're still under your I don't want to say jurisdiction, but like under your protection, under your covering. Right. And you give them some rope, and then even if they break the rules or go beyond, they're still secured under your protection. When they're out there in the world and they want to push society's limits, then you're dealing with society's enforcers.
It's a lot more harsh than we are.
Or the workplace. If you try to do funny stuff in the workplace, it ain't gonna work out. If you're gonna try to do funny business out in the street,
there are consequences to that. Yeah.
And so I'd rather have them understand that when they're still under my covering, that if they fail, if they go beyond and do the funny business, they're still protected because I'm the one that is enforcing it. At the end of the day, I love them. So workplace don't gonna love my kids. The street ain't gonna love my kids. The society.
That's a fact. You're coming to do a job. There's typically zero tolerance, and I just think it goes hand in hand. Like, you're building that, and I don't want to liken it to, you have a dog, but right, I met a guy recently, beautiful Rottweiler, and I'm scared as all get out because it's a Rottweiler that's not on a leash. But he says, no, he's good. He just wants to come say hi. He wants to sniff. He wants to just say hi. I'm like, all right, let me not cower it out. He's like, I've had this dog trained since he was a puppy. He's going to do exactly what I asked him to do. He did exactly what the man asked him to do. Sat down, whatever. He was of no harm to me. What's your point, Phillip? Point is, I think when you you give them that conditioning of sorts. Hey, make your bed in the morning. Make your bed in the morning. It becomes a habit. So, millennial parenting 101.